surprised I wasn't out there shooting and robbing, because I'm listening to these lyrics that would drive me, or listening to Missy Elliott talking about getting her, you know.
You be shooting and robbing now. Y'all still, this is a different way of doing it. That's all. Yo, what's going on, Kutt? We back Kutt Podcast. How you doing this week, man?
I'm all right this week, man. It's been a crazy week.
Yeah, tell me about it. You guys had it rough so far. So you had this one dude who decided to go to the bus stops and take people.
He's out here raping people.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can say rape on the thing, but yeah, he's out here touching
Allegedly.
people. Allegedly?
Yeah.
No, we arrested him.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
Then you had the dude, that the young fella who tragically lost his life to gun violence. I'm kind of getting tired of seeing it. Our young kids out here thinking it's okay to brandish guns and play with guns with no formal training, no idea how a firearm works, can't break it down, don't know how to clean it, stuff like that.
Just shooting just to shoot.
Yeah, just basically to see like it's Call of Duty or something. You know what I mean?
They don't understand the ramifications of what they're doing with that bullet.
Yeah, so recently there was a NBA player who got into some heat with
Man, you make it sound like no one knows. It's John Morant. We're going to talk about John Morant today.
Yeah, I mean, I like to try to work my way into it, man. I'm trying to ease my way on in.
Basketball player. It's the leading. He's going to lead. I'm sorry. I apologize. I did. I'm like, John Morant is the biggest focal point in the NBA, more than anything else in the NBA.
Right.
Like,
so this is my problem, and you tell me how you feel.
Right.
You have a son.
Yes.
I have 3 sons.
Right.
What do you feel that our children see that makes them think it's okay to play with guns? I would give to you that I believe they look up to the wrong people. Yeah. And then those people who are doing these things like John Morant, waving his hands with a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, making millions of dollars.
Yo, what's up, guys? Kuttty the Barber here, your master barber. Quick tip for all you young barbers out there trying to figure out how to make the haircut fit the person, because nothing worse than a haircut that don't fit the person. Sure, you can do a ball fade. Sure, you can do a low and even. Sure, you can do all that. But does it fit the person's head? Tip, it's all about angles. Play pool, guess what? When you play pool, it's not about hitting it hard or whatever. It's all about angles. So when you cut hair, use angles. Tip of the nose, middle of the head, across the ear. Here's your temple area, top of your ears, middle of your ears. I mean, there's several areas, bottom of the ears and the back. I mean, you can just use reference. Try to make it into a box. Use angles, straight lines, angles. If you learn how to see things that's not there as a young barber, you'll get it figured out real soon. Stay tuned. Kuttty the Barber, your master barber.
Because athletes, like entertainers included, rappers especially, they have a lot of gunplay going on, right? But the kids looking at that, and they're thinking it's okay because if this person who's held to this pedestal or standard is doing it, then I can do it too.
Right.
But I change that to you and say this. Aren't they supposed to be positive role models? But when they're held to that high of a standard, and they got these kids out here that want to run and jump and play like these other guys or rap on these songs, why do you think we're not really upset so much to say as we could be or should be when it comes to these guys? Keep on doing it. I mean, Gilbert Arenas a few years back, he wants to come out. I got in trouble in high school for having a gun. I got arrested for having a gun in school. And it wasn't like I was playing with it, but I had it.
Right.
Didn't have no reason to have it, just had it just to have it. Yeah. Because, everybody was talking about guns. I'm talking with Tupac and, all the rappers back in the day who was talking about gunplay. But where does it stop where it becomes a hindrance to the development of our young black youth?
So, like, starting from the beginning of it, it's talking about our kids. It's parenting has changed. I think parenting has changed dramatically now because we grew up in an era where this all started. We were raised in it, but we didn't take action with it. A lot of us that did take action are either in jail or not in jail, and those that got lucky got lucky. But with our kids, it's a turning point for sure. It's a risk that, especially them being black males, and you already know they're gonna fall into hip hop. They're gonna fall into these trends. They're gonna start, adapting and trying to get a tattoo at 15. Like we tried to get tattoos when we were younger. I got one tattoo, and I got it because I was curious. Like, I want to get a tattoo.
I got a letter G, bro. It wasn't even a tattoo. It was a letter G.
Like a little crosses thing. Someone came anyway. Someone came up to me recently. And they're like, "Yo, that thing is not even filled in." I'm like, "I don't even know it need to be filled in."
Right? Because
like,
it was so ghetto. For real.
But but on the idea of the gun thing is like everyone wants to act like, especially when we live in a culture where they're trying to take guns away. Our culture is also showing that we need a gun to play. I know that's a little on play, but like you look at it constantly in hip hop, and now hip hop has turned TikTok-ish, where they're doing these dances, they're showing guns. They got Moran out here looking crazy.
They tried the man dad, like it's his fault.
Yeah, and that's the thing though. Like I feel bad for his dad because his dad was a glory. He was looking great last year on the playoffs. You know, hanging out with Usher. Like, oh, this dude raised his son, 2-parent home, all this and that. And now they're trying to kill him because his son did something stupid. But he's 23 years old.
Right.
You can only do so much as a dad when they get past 18 or when they're 16, let alone 23, making $200-300 million a year.
I'm talking about big money. I know for myself, I was raised in a 2-parent home.
Right, same.
My dad, you know, he had a high-ranking position in the city government.
Right.
But I chose to go and do the things that I did.
Right.
It wasn't that he didn't raise me right.
Right.
It wasn't that my mom didn't raise me right. I made poor decisions.
Right.
And so I'm feeling that Ja has not matured enough.
That's true.
To be a good leader of men.
Right.
Because he's not thinking properly. If you in a club, this man spent $50,000 or something
all
like
that
that.
money on the floor.
The whole floor is filled with money, bro.
Like Noah's Ark.
You know what I mean? Full of stuff, right? So I can't say that T. Morant is not a good dad because he got his son there. Right. And like you said, 23 years old, you're not really listening to nobody but yourself.
But yeah, like me at 23, it was way different from me at 34.
Man. Just turned 23.
I remember when I was 23, I was trying to settle down. Like I got married at 25, so I thought I was doing the right thing. But me at 23, I was making mistakes that if I'd made them now, I'd be like, why am I doing that? But your brain doesn't mature till 25. I think in men it's like 34, 35, 50, 100 once we're in the ground.
Yeah.
But no, in all seriousness, as you get older, you learn from experience, like, yo, this is not a good idea. A lot of times we don't learn about women until we're too late. And a lot of the mistakes we make, we don't recognize them until it's too late. And you start sitting there sulking. You're like, man, did I do that?
Yeah.
You know, we're our own biggest villain, I see. But with the idea with guns and talking about guns and the idea and culture, they're magnifying this one incident with this young man, Moran.
That's a big incident, though.
It's a big incident, but all he did was wave a gun in the club.
Yeah,
There's
but
worse things on Instagram right now than that. But then we don't talk about, like, God forbid, with Kobe. Kobe went through his legal issue. I don't think that was magnified to the point of this actually being magnified. He went to court, and
bro.
all that was false.
Oh,
they
but
proved it to be false.
They had him out there, though, real bad.
Had his wife with the big old ring.
God. 8
and
carats,
then he
I think.
snitched on Shaq, and, you know, things happen. But anyway, like, we should not focus on it to glorify it. I see people defending him where we should be like, yo, all right, chill. Like, that wasn't your gun. You shouldn't be taking people's gun. All right, we should nip it in the butt, take a suspension, move on from it. Now it becoming polarizing, and we look at music. We look at these kids that are out here in our community, especially.
So you do actually have to deal with kids. You find kids with
I
firearms.
deal with people. I found plenty of people with firearms. The guns are no bigger than probably my palm of my hand.
What's the youngest?
The youngest I've dealt with?
Yeah.
I think 15.
15?
I've dealt with young kids. And then the biggest thing, they're calling our area Blood Orange County.
Blood. That's terrible.
Instead of Orange County.
Oh, man.
But
That's
no,
not
in all
good.
seriousness, it's gun violence. It's recently a 5th grader shot somebody and killed them in the middle of the street. And we need to come together. And a lot of the times is like we're trying to ban guns for what? If they're illegally coming in there regardless.
So is it the laws that need to be changed? I mean, what are some solutions? Give me some solutions to the epidemic of gun violence, namely in the African American or even just minority communities, period. Because like I said, I've been in the barbershop and guys have came in, I'm cutting their hair and a damn gun fall out. Yeah. You know, fall out on the floor. I'm like, oh man, you got a gun in here? You know what I mean? But to him, it's the way of life every day. Right. So what can we do about it? The laws, or what does the law say? You have to be 21 to get a good gun, right? 18 for a shotgun, right? Yeah. Okay. Background check, FBI, local, state, and FDLE, all those things, right? What about the people who still go out and commit horrific crimes? who have had the background checks, that have bought plenty of guns over and over again.
Yeah.
We're not just talking about a little PP gun like your boy had waving on the Instagram. He looked real funny, by the way.
Like a necklace piece.
Yeah, like he had some on his chain or something. You know what I mean?
Tried to
But
say it was a lighter.
yeah, oh, did he? He did.
Someone tried to say, "Look, this is a little
It could have
Zippo."
been. It could have been.
Nah,
You've seen it. I've seen that before. The little gun lighter.
That's a gun.
But you know
That's
what?
okay.
What is it? What is the thing that we need to do just in our community?
Right.
Because we can't really affect outside communities. We need to start where we're at. Right. So where do we start?
As someone that's owns guns, shotguns, been around guns for almost my whole life, been in the military and law enforcement, I think of a gun as more protection than something I need to use. That's what I've trained. It's been burned in my head. It's a protection tool. It's a tool at that. So the biggest thing that I have with the issue is that of course you're gonna carry a gun. You're legally obligated to do it. Those that commit these heinous crimes, I do believe in mental health. I do believe there's other influences that are involved in these big major shootings that cause such damage in the communities.
It's the radio waves, 5G. That's what's doing.
I don't know.
It's activating the cells.
I think it's more on the lines of just these mental issues and things like that. But that also comes from drug use. So we could talk about drug use, or we could talk about the fact that people drive cars every day. There's people that I've heard of aggravated assaults with vehicles all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So people can use guns. They can use guns as weapons. They can use cars as weapons. They can use knives. Look at London. They stab people all day, every day.
On the train.
Police don't even got guns. They out there stabbing everybody.
Yeah.
So if you take away the guns, they're gonna come around with knives. You're gonna take away the knives. They're gonna start coming around with their hands. There's all these different ways. Someone's trying to kill somebody. They're gonna try to kill somebody. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that your gun or whatever your weapon is, a protection, is a tool. It's to produce so you have security. It's to stop what may happen if you just brandish your weapon. Yes, you can brandish your weapon, not saying you can point at the person, but poking it up in the air. You know, there's ways around it instead of trying to shoot somebody. So if someone's gonna kill someone, someone's gonna kill somebody. That's happened since Cain and Abel.
This episode of the Cuff and Kutt podcast is brought to you by introducing Labels by Lynn, a Christian clothing brand dedicated to delivering both fashionable apparel and a powerful message of faith. With custom designs available, you can create a personal and meaningful wardrobe that reflects your beliefs and personality. Each piece is crafted with the highest standards of quality, making it a perfect way to share the love of Jesus Christ with those around you. Visit labelsbylynn.com today.
Yo, welcome back. Hey, I had a question for you. We're talking about role models, right? Mm-hmm. To you, what is a role model?
To me,
Yeah, just to you. Don't give me no
bias,
Yeah,
no
what's a role model?
pandering.
To you.
I think a role model is someone that you look up to in your life growing up. It could be your parents. It could be sports. Like my biggest role model growing up was Kobe Bryant. Like legitimately, I know I'm that guy, but I'm a big Kobe fan. Like I grew up when he got drafted to the end of his career.
Right.
I cried the last game he played, and all that stuff. But yeah, like I looked up to basketball. That what led me to play basketball. That's what guided me. When I knew I was going home, I'd watch Kobe Bryant. Like, oh, his mentality,
Well, who are some role models now then? I mean, like, I know you're the firemen, your mayors,
I don't think anybody looks up to anyone of those. I mean, yeah, that sounds very. I think with African Americans staying in our zone, in our lane, I think a lot of white kids, they look up to Navy SEALs, Army, and those. But we tend to look up to what is put in our face, which is hip hop, sports, and then things like that. Pretty much hip hop, sports, and entertainment.
So are we failing kids because we don't teach these things to them about having the right person to look up to? Because like we were saying with the John Morant situation, you got a lot of young kids.
Impressionable.
They're very impressionable. So when you're seeing somebody who you think is basically without building as a god, God-like.
They seem like Allen. We used to look at Allen Iverson like he's that dude,
but he wasn't a role model for us.
Iverson was a role model for me. Like,
yeah,
he used to baggy shorts, cornrows. That
Michael
dude
Jordan.
changed. Yeah, Michael Jordan wasn't my era though.
Dennis Rodman.
People are acting more Dennis Rodman than they are Michael Jordan now. I see more Dennis Rodmans playing in the NBA than I do Michael Jordans.
Yeah,
but
that's
that's a different story. That's their personal preference. But with the John Ryan thing, like that's their Allen Iverson. That's
Well,
the
you
bad
know you're
boy.
a role model to me, man. But anyway, go ahead.
I know.
I look up to you, bro.
Yeah.
You're all right with me.
I look up to you too.
You're all right with me, bro.
Yeah, but overall, you gotta understand that role models are different now than they were for us. Like we still,
Way.
I look up to people. I look up to certain people, and even now as an adult, it's kind of like hard to find a good role model, the new role model within the industry. Like you look at rap artists, and they're like, man, they do one good thing in the community, the rest of it's violence. You know?
They in something I read about John, he has charitable organizations.
I mean,
you know,
it
he's
sounds
involved
bad.
in his community, right? But you're putting that out there,
Right.
But the true you comes out
Right.
when you
It's
show your
snuck out.
face.
And
You
that's
understand what I mean?
Yeah, everything comes to light. But that's how you phrase it, though. Everyone does wrong things. Everyone's gonna fall. Everyone's gonna have an imperfect life. But if your whole life is dedicated to an image and you can portray this call for help, they're calling it, right? Mental
Right.
health.
His mental health problem. Yeah.
Yeah. So my feelings towards it is that even with them watching it, I'm like, yo, you just made a mistake. Just say it. Like, you
Yeah.
don't got to blame mental health. Now people with mental health are going to be looked at in a different way. Like they're some type of monster because you chose to make a bad mistake. You chose to act a certain way. You have $200 million. You can move away from the hood forever.
Forever.
Your whole family for the next 5 generations don't
Forever.
ever have to enter your hood.
Yeah.
You chose to do these things. I
Right.
don't care about you saying these your homeboys. Pull your homeboys out. Be the leader. You're not a leader. You're not a leader. You're just some kid. You know,
You
you're
got
just
some
some
money.
dude with some money.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing you see. Yeah, change it.
Yeah. I feel like also our youth need more young people their age to look to.
Nobody wants to be a leader. Everyone's following now.
That's
though.
the whole generation. I call it the go along and get along game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody has their own like identity.
For real.
Nobody knows who they want to be. Everybody want to be like everybody else. Like you
Dog,
said with TikTok.
Everyone's trying to do the same TikTok dance. They
Dances.
doing this little Uzi joint.
yeah.
And I'm like, yo, y'all could set yourself apart. That's what I do with my kids. That's my biggest thing with my kids is setting them apart.
Right.
There's certain things I will not allow. Until they're 18, whenever, like, yo, just don't follow the crowd.
Right.
You your own person.
Yeah, just be you.
And the thing, that's the secret. If you become your own person, you're going to be more successful than the rest of the people.
Right.
That's
So
how
you
become-
yourself become a role model.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't see any under 21 role models. It's sad to say. Maybe I'm just not connected. I'm
I
out
think
of
it's
touch.
our age group too, because we were making mistakes at 21. Let's talk about when we were younger. My biggest influence was 50 Cent. And if I go back and listen to Get Rich or Die Trying,
Lord, here
if
we
I get
go.
back to listening to
50
all his
Cent, 50
discography,
Cent.
and I remember I listened to it, Beg for Mercy and all that, I'm surprised I wasn't out there shooting and robbing because I'm listening to these lyrics that were driving me, or listening to Missy Elliott talking about getting her, you know.
You be getting
Yeah.
you be shooting and robbing now. Y'all still, it's just a different way of doing it. That's all.
Oh boy.
I'm just
But
telling
yeah,
the
but
truth.
in all seriousness, like you had different, y'all generation was a little bit more honorable, I guess, with LL Cool J and
Yeah, like we
some other old men.
EPMD, Public Enemy #1, like all those guys, they talked about
Right.
black empowerment.
Yeah.
And looking up to the right kind of people.
Right.
But if you notice, they also pushed those role models
Right.
out of the way.
Right.
LL Cool J went into acting. You understand?
Yeah.
They
With that
put him
bald
in-
head.
Yeah.
Bald
And
head licking
EPMD, they look how they drug your boy Flavor Flav through the mud. You know,
Well,
so
I mean, they gave him a TV show with a whole bunch of women. What do you
I just
expect?
said, look, the
With a clock on his
entertainment.
neck.
There's the entertainment side of it
Yeah,
again.
yeah, no, I get it.
So now you're taking away from that particular role model
Right.
viewership.
Right.
Now you're just looking at him as an entertainer again.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if that's all we got to look up to, then we're in trouble.
No, I agree, and that's why we got to just figure it out. In the standpoint of, I mean, we're in a difficult part of history because this generation that we're raising can either make or break the future.
I think they're the Warriors of the future, to be honest. I know it's not cool. The Warriors. I think they're
Basketball team?
No, the Warriors, the fighters.
Oh.
You know that's going when it's time to
Who's
bring.
the Warriors?
They're gonna be warriors. They're gonna fight.
I
Warriors
get
fight.
it.
We ain't talking about basketball. We talking
I'm talking
about-
about basketball. So I'm like, dang,
Yeah.
you Steph Curry fan?
Nah, we're gonna
Hey,
be the
light-skinned dude.
Warriors.
Yo.
Man, whatever. You ain't no darker than me, Joker. But I feel like they're the fighters. They're gonna be the ones that's gonna be willing to bear arms. You know, when it's time to go to war.
Right.
So that can be turned into that positive. But the only thing is, we don't have structure. We don't have that person to put us in line.
Right.
You know, so I think that's one of the problems.
Yeah, that's something that we can try to do, but once again, falls on deaf ears when it's older people. Even though we're more experienced, we are fall on deaf ears like, oh, you used to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, you used to
Yeah,
do that.
yeah.
Oh, but I need to learn. I want to do this. You know, you gonna run into the wall until it break. Either it breaks you, you break through it, one or the other. And it's a sad situation. It's a sad outlook on life when your biggest influence is really the detriment to you.
So I guess in essence, what you're saying is that nothing we could do about it because of the fact that the entertainment industry is controlled, the media,
Yeah.
the sports industries, all you get to see what they want you to see, right? So are we just out of gas? Is that what you're saying? Like
I'm not
there's
saying
nothing that we can do?
I think it's more on the level. It goes to, they call it plant grass, the grass. I forgot what it's called, but it starts at the lowest level. It starts with your children. It starts with those you interact with the community. You cut hair to kids every day.
Right.
I deal with kids in my job where I'm walking up and walking to schools and trying to be like, yo, look, I'm a normal person. I'm not unapproachable.
Yeah.
Here's some knowledge if you want to talk. And then is what it is. It's just, it takes time. And same frustrations our parents had, we turned out all right.
Yeah, we did.
So,
yeah, we did.
by the grace of God. Because for no honesty, my mom, there's times when she tells me story, I'm like, I did that.
I know.
Even at 19,
Yeah.
I used to do all types of wild stuff. And then
I was
now-
sneaky. I didn't really get it. I didn't never get caught really.
I used to get caught. My mom used to just gave up and just hands after 21. She said, "You just do what you got to do, and just please come home at night. Try your best.
Just try your best." So we're the role models technically.
We're now the role models.
The black
but-
father.
Yeah, the black father.
All right. Now what about the black father who sells drugs?
What about the black fathers in prison? You know, but you can always influence your children. Yes, you made a mistake. Yes, you got to do what you got to do. I understand, but you should be looking to progress away from those bad habits we hold and progressing to the positive ones.
But I don't see that happening because it seems to me there's more glory being put on gun violence.
Yeah,
and it's one of the main issues and problems that we have in our community because these young men who don't understand that this is not a video game.
Right.
You can't reset it.
Yeah.
You can't start over.
Yep.
You can't bring the person back.
Yep.
When you pull that trigger, ain't no going back.
Nope.
And then I think that it's not been. I don't remember the last time that they had a program in school about gun use. I seen
It used to be drugs.
I used to see DARE, drug and drug abuse resistance education.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I've seen that. But what about something when you go talk to younger kids? Since you can have LGBTQ shows coming and with the women that's not women, performing in front of kids, and it's okay. Why can't you talk to the young kids about gun safety? Go into the class and show them how to break down a gun. I mean, not in the elementary and like those. I'm talking when you get into high school, younger kids, 15, 14, 16.
I think exposure, that's something that we don't do in our community enough, is exposure to weapons.
Yeah.
I think we have this fear because everyone wants to ban a gun instead of just show them how to use it.
How to use it.
It takes away that, what's it called? There's like the mysteriousness of it.
Yeah,
like, it's just
like drinking.
It's like everyone talks about the sex talk, the birds and the bees. They should be talking about all aspects as drinking.
Right.
I wouldn't say go let your child get drunk in your house, but tell them like this is what it is. This is what it does.
Give them a shot.
But and then even more so, back in our days, we were the drug. We wanted to be the drug dealers, not the killers.
Right.
Now I feel like it's more like we want to be the killers instead of the drug dealers.
Yeah.
They're talking about taking perk. Like they're taking these slow drugs instead of. Even the drugs are whack. Like it's not even fun to take a perk. I've never taken a perk, but I couldn't imagine being slow instead of just it just doesn't make sense. And then
What are they trying to get away from, you think?
They're trying to get away from whatever they're having their issues with. And a lot of the issues are portrayed because of what's going around. Like,
Well, the rap songs, number one, because if you listen, they always talking about death
low
and
vibration,
destroying.
death, destruction.
Yeah.
And the little dances, you looking crazy.
So now we're getting into the spiritual realm of things.
Yeah.
So that's a spiritual warfare battle for our children.
I believe as a Christian, there is definitely a spiritual battle being waged.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's where I put my faith into it. But also, I believe that through my experiences, I've been able to help others. Show them like, yo, you don't really want to go down this path. Look at this I've been through. So you're going to go through all this for that. So
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't tryna grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way.